Today we're going to look at how we can bring interactivity to the virtual world by programming objects that we build using the Scratch for Second Life environment. So first I'm going to build a default cube here in front of me. I'll scale that up now to be 1 meter cubed. Now I'll switch over to Scratch. And you'll see, if you haven't used it before, that it looks slightly different to the regular Scratch, but it's the same logic behind it. Now I'll start by clicking on the control block or category of blocks and choosing when I am touched. So I want the cube that I created in the virtual world to do something when I touch it or when I point at it. Next I'll click on the motion category and I'll select move 1 meters. And I will change that to be 2 meters. Then I'll pull out the turn 15 degrees motion control. And now what I'm going to do is connect that up to the first move control. You'll see that the white highlight comes there when it's ready to be dropped. And then if I just leave up the mouse button, it falls into place. And I'm going to change that to 90 degrees. Because I want the cube in the virtual world to move forward, turn 90 degrees, move again, turn 90 degrees, and to do that 4 times and to come back to where it was after tracing out a rectangle or a square, in fact. So the next thing I'm going to do in order to make it do something besides moving is I'm going to go to the looks category here and say change color by 10, and I'll leave it at the default 10. So just drag and drop that in there again like before. And next I'll go back to the control category here and I'll select wait 1 second. Now the reason for this is because the computer just processes the programming code so quick sometimes that you don't get a chance to really see what it's doing. So I'll change that in fact to 2 seconds and we'll get a better chance to see what it's at. And I'll drag again and drop that onto the first 3 pieces of code there. Now I'm going to use a trick here to duplicate this block of code 4 times so that we can move through the complete 4 sides of the square. We can trace the full path of the square with the cube. So I right click on the first one here and select copy, and that gives me a complete duplication of that. Now I can drop that there, right click again, copy, and I get a full copy of the first 2 blocks of code. I can drop it again there. Now I can drag and drop the whole lot here onto the first block that I had when I am touched, drop it there, and that just gives me the complete program here that I want to attach to the object in the virtual world. Now I just click on the copy Linden script button above here, and that copies all the code that's actually behind this programming logic. I'll switch back over here to the virtual world. And next I click on the content tab here that corresponds to this cube. Click on content. Now I click on the new script button, and that gives me a default script here. If I double click on that, it opens up the script, which just has a few default lines of code. I can highlight all that with the mouse and delete it with the delete key on the keyboard. Now I go up to the edit menu and paste in all the new code. And you can see that it creates quite a few lines of code corresponding to the programming logic that I created in Scratch for Second Life. Now I just save that code there. It gives me a message that the script is saved and that the compile was successful. That means that the computer is ready to run that code. So I just close that window and I close that one. And now when I hover my mouse pointer over the cube here, you'll see that it changes to be a hand, which means that it's ready to be touched, if you like. Even though I don't move the avatar's hand over to touch it, by clicking on it with the mouse I am effectively touching it, and I can run that script. So it moves forward, turns 90 degrees, changes color, and it goes through that cycle 4 times and goes back to where it started. Now I can run that again, move forward, rotate, wait 2 seconds, forward, rotate, wait 2 seconds, change color, and back again all the way to the start. And we'll just run it one last time to see it again. and it's changing color the whole time there by 10 degrees at each stage and all the way back to the start. So you can use the same sequence of programming to run or to create whatever program you like and to attach it to an object in the virtual world, and we hope you have fun doing that.